corner of the world, you could roll around the globe and never find a warmer soul to know. Oh, I saw you by the wall, 10 of your tin soldiers in a row, with eyes that looked like ice on fire, the human heart a captive in the snow. On that Kita you will never know anything about my home. I never know how good it feels to hold you. Nikita, I need you so. Oh, Nikita is the other side of any given line in time, counting tempting soldiers in their row. Oh no, Nikita, you'll never know.
Don't you just love his voice? Beautiful song there, music titled Nikita, and it features Sir Elton John on this one. It's drizzling out there, so if you're on the streets, please be safe out there. All right, so we're counting the days, aren't we, to the Republic Bank Love FM Habitat Fair for the year 2023. It's going to be happening at our traditional grounds, that is the Kumasi City Mall, and like I said, it's between the 6th of October to the 8th of October. Now, a lot of people have sent messages, and lawyer Kwashi says good morning to you, Leo Stanley, and of course to Eugene. Said to us, Eugene, so I'm trying to num. But to me, I say try to num responsibly. And he says it's going to be 60 on the 22nd of this month. That's Friday. So happy birthday to you, lawyer Kwashi, in advance. And PV Jantua, good morning to you too. He's also sent his audio. We'll be sharing all that with you. But I would like to hear from you yourself as you listen to us. Because, some people believe that once they have money, they should eat and eat well. I mean, you work. So, so they have money and they believe that they have to eat what their hearts desire. And they have to eat and eat very well. Now, they have the view that money for, let's say, the purchase of pizza, or let's say, for example, a good bowl of fufu with the akrantiers and the mres and the ngwas and the kotos, those kind of money will not be able to be enough to buy a cement or cement bag or bags, or even put up a house or even buy a land. Now, some people hear some of these things, they take it lightly, others take it seriously. And take a listen to this. This is a view of somebody. He says, you ought to eat and eat well, because if you want to eat a ponchinam, for example, it is not enough to buy a plot of land. Take a listen to him.
Say love Fufuo sika no etimi top plot. Penthouse na na machine wa you anim no. Upon to show na da was ada say boys quarters. Apuzige tilapia kakra nkruma kakra. Yeah! Akwa na metwamanum. Asa wa nya yi anya ponchina mo awe ye. Aponchi mu akra say. Okay, so that's somebody's view. Do you agree with him or you don't agree with him? In fact, this morning, Leo Stanley says to a large extent he agrees with him. Eugene Osetutu also says to a large extent he agrees with him, because and you'll be a bit messy dying. I agree. But I'm saying that with the right strategy, with the right plan, you should be able to put up something. Not necessarily something luxurious, but something affordable and something comfortable, as our theme depicts. So I'd like to hear from you. I mean, what do you make of this, our debate, this argument, this conversation we're about to have? Do you think that it is good to spend money, to buy expensive meals and enjoy, or because, those monies cannot be enough to buy a plot of land, buy cement bags or iron rods or sand? What do you think? Again, when you come to think of it, it is common to see some young men sit out every day after work, drinking alcohol, chewing meat. Talk about kebab or maybe some impusu and stuff like that, all in the name of relaxing or maybe unwinding. Some book hotels, and they go to hotel rooms, to do all the things that people do. You and I know what I'm talking about. So maybe the hotel room might cost like 200 Ghana cedis or 250 Ghana cedis for a night. You go in there with the girl will drink something, maybe eat something. You would eat something and drink something, and when she's leaving, 70 is fine. When she's leaving, all these monies, are they worth spending like that?
Can't we strategize and save them and then, buy lands and put up a house? Is it not possible? Well, some people believe it is possible. Others believe it's not possible. But what do you think? What do you believe? Our WhatsApp number is 055-1111-995. That's our WhatsApp number. Record a voice note and tell us what you make of this debate. I've got an economist with me in the studios of Love 99.5. His name is Ivan Sununu. And he's going to help us, understand and appreciate whether it's possible or not. Nunu, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Trust you well.
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
I'm good. So, I say, penthouse not to see why you anymore. And a boss got us in Adani upon But take a listen to what PV Janto also has to share on this matter.
Good morning, David. Trust you are doing well. I'm enjoying the conversation between your good self, Leo Stanley, and Eugene. It's a very interesting one. You see, first of all, do you know why corruption is very high in this country? Everybody wants to build a house. Even if their salary or their source of income cannot even buy a block or cannot even buy a cement in every 6 months, they still want to build. Societal pressure. Because if you don't have a house, people think you are useless, you could not make it in life, and that kind of stuff. My little advice is that by virtue of the job that you do, look, live with your integrity. Rent a 2-bedroom apartment, a chamber and a hall. Live there comfortably with your wife and your kids. Learn how to build your children, develop the children, so that when they grow up, right, they can live their life. You see, there's no sense for anybody to think that I'm trying to stockpile money for my children. How will they take care of the money? How are they going to manage the money? Because they were not part of the stockpiling of the money or even saving the money. So we should be careful with our lives. We are not in competition with anybody. Live your life according to how much you earn. Let integrity prevail in your life. Live an honest life. Why are we putting pressure on people that everybody wants to build and enjoy your life? I overheard Eugene making reference to my high life account. I'm 58 now, and I'm saving in the next 12 years to enjoy my life after 70 years. Do you know something? I'm saving 20 cedis every day. Without amortization, without interest, I will hit about 240,000 at the age of 70. Cool somewhere. So we should learn and live our life with integrity. We don't have to steal. Corruption abounds in this country because everybody wants to make property.
But we're not asking people to be corrupt, are we? We're not. But we're saying that there are people who have some income, some flow that come their way, but abuse it somewhat, and that's where we want to hear your view on it. And there are people who would not build houses, but when they hit the age of 60 and beyond, then they want to put pressure on their children. And I'm renting time and sika rent time. People die, when they go on retirement, people die because of the stress of life for them. But you are the economist, Evans.
Yes, sir.
So I'm sure that when people hear such comments that, Fufuo sika and top plots and for instance, penthouse and stuff like that, others will take it seriously, others will take it lightly. But as an economist, what do you make of it? That money that we spend on the pizza, that money that we spend on the fufu and all that, enough to be able to help you start building?
Yes, I think so. And you realize that the gentleman's last submission reinforces that position.
Which one are you talking about?
PV Jantwa.
Okay.
That he will get 240,000 something by the time he clocks 70.
Yeah.
All right. And he remember the amount he said he was going to save
20 cedis
a day. And just imagine. So it reinforces the point that if you save little by little, you can put up a building. Because even as we speak now, there are places you could get 3-bedroom house for, say, 300,000, 250,000. Provided it's a new site, you don't want urban areas or the center of the cities. But if you want to move to the new site, you are likely to get a 3-bedroom house for, depending on the size of the room and the whole architecture, you can easily get 300,000. A 3-bedroom
so how
house.
come many young people do not see this? How come they don't realize that it is possible that with the money that we used to buy the pizza, the money that we used to buy the fufu and the akranteers and the ngwas and all those chain and stuff on it, if we reduce the intake of those things, we can be able to save enough money to be able to either buy an apartment or build. How come the young ones don't see this?
Yeah, only few people do understand the fast changing character of time and date. You see, some of us, if we are say 20 years of age, 25 years of age, we still think that we have enough time. You know, we are too young to start thinking about buying a plot and building and those things. And especially when at that age, most people have very small amount at the end of the month, because it's almost as if in Ghana, the more you go, as you grow, you get to occupy higher, your position, your rank, it goes up, and that comes with increased salaries. So the older you are, the more the income. It's understandable though, but elsewhere the income inequality is that minimum. So the feeling that the money is small and I'm young, I still have time, blah 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 blah, you know. And sometimes friends would pull you to areas where you have to sit. Some will say and break bottles and all of those things. So these are pressures of life, worldly attractions, you know, in quotes, because we are not in a churchy environment.
But sincerely speaking, honestly speaking, Nuno, if you look at how much a plot of land goes for and how much it takes to build, I mean, you want to buy a bag of cement. The least, some go for 95 Ghana cedis. A very popular brand of cement goes for 95 Ghana cedis. And a foreign one goes for 105 Ghana cedis. If you look at that amount of what you call it, cement, and then you just oppose it to how much they say you would buy a pizza for, it will take you so long to be able to buy a land or even start building or complete the building. I mean, such monies will not be enough to build it, would it?
Actually, it isn't about the length of time. It's about planning and having a better future. So most of the people who are able to build here in this country do not build in a month or two. Only few businessmen, people who have really piled money somewhere and would want to just come out one day and speedily put it up, do that. But in most cases, it's gradual. And there are two ways of doing it. Some would want to start gradually, physically, to beat inflation. Others would want to invest the money, get huge sums, come out within a year, they are done. And so it depends on how you want to see it. But in most cases, it takes a period of time to get the money for the building. And you made mention of cement bags and those things. Look, if you are buying cement, one bag of cement for, let's say, 100 Ghana cedis, and you want to buy, let's say, 4 bags of cement in a month, that is your plan. So you want to save towards that. In the next 25 years, you should have a house. So if you are 30 years, by 55, you should have a house. And if you are retiring, you should retire into a very comfortable place. And with the same rationale or logic, if you are spending 150 Ghana cedis on pizza every week, and let's say you are buying it twice a week, then in 20 years' time, that amount you spent on pizza should be able to get you a house, a fully completed house.
But you know that it's not just about the cement. I mean, other components come to play. You know, other items come to play when you have to build. You know, laborers. You need the sand, the gravels. You need the iron rods. You need the roofing sheets, the electricals. All those things come to play. So what is a bowl of fufu? Well, let's say 300 Ghana cedis, and you do that 3 times a month or 4 times a month. What's the big deal?
It's a very big deal. You see, even when we're talking about, you know, I said you will peg cement as 100 Ghana cedis, right?
Yeah.
And the pizza, I pegged it at 150.
Yeah.
So the 100 was for the house and the 50 was for the other things. Now remember that the main thing is about putting the building itself. For the tiling, the wiring, lights, and those things, it varies.
All the washroom stuff, yeah.
Somebody could use 100,000 to do these things. Others could use 20,000. Some could stay in a house without tiling it and later look for money to do these things. But the point is that you should be sheltered when in your old age. You should have a decent place to stay. So we are not just talking about any luxurious thing, but a place where you be comfortable with, and it depends on your level of income and how you want to live. But what we are saying is that basically you should have a place where you can live when you move into retirement.
So when you watch the young ones, and I often say this, listen, when it's around 5:30 and you drive around most of the spots in town, it's filled with people drinking.
Yes.
It's filled with people, chewing kebab. And where there's meat and soup, the mpusu and all, they enjoy. Go to Bantama, go to wherever.
What is mpusu?
Oh, light soup with meat. So it could be goat meat, it could be bush meat, it could be any kind of soup with meat. And they are buying it. Are you therefore suggesting that, let's say, for want of a better life in future when you retire, they should not enjoy themselves. They should not eat and enjoy the meal or enjoy their hard labor.
You should eat, but you should not eat by heart. You see, most of these people you see drinking in groups, the bill is mostly, in most cases, the bill is on only one person. It's the most hard-working income earners don't sit there to drink. In most cases, they are in the house. Mostly the unemployed who would want to hang around people, their employed friends, and they do that. So you watch them closely. It's not as if they no contribution, no chop. In most cases, it's only 2 people or 1 person in the squad that will foot the bill.
And that person, for all you know, doesn't even have a plot of land.
Yes, and he's building in people's stomachs. Look, and the pathetic thing is that in the next 5 years, you look at this, you look around, you can't see these friends. When they go broke, they don't see anybody, and you can test it. You can just behave like you are broke and just call people that you need 200 Ghana cedis. That is when you realize the mistake you are making. Everybody will go like, I don't have it, and indeed they don't have it. So once you happen to be a breadwinner, or God blesses you and you start earning something, know that when times are hard, nobody would mind you. So you have to live and live well. And probably those that are unable to really be disciplined enough with their monies and save, if you marry, it will also help. Your wife can put you in check, especially when you marry an Asante woman.
What about an Asante woman?
Oh yes, they like to put you on your toes and make sure that you are putting up properties. My mom told me that, but I think it's true. You know, they wouldn't allow you to live anyhow.
What you said about a group sitting down oftentimes after close of work to hang out and to chill, unwinding and relaxing, it's true, because I remember some years ago, it happened where a guy was the one who was footing the bill, and there are occasions where the group would sit down and all members of the group would say, "Chalemi de Miniska," so he would move his vehicle and then go use his ATM card, withdraw some money and come and do some more payment. At one point in time, he got up one day and said, "Listen, I'm spending unnecessarily." So he takes the ATM card and breaks it into 2. From that day till now, he doesn't have an ATM card. So that's checked his spending. Yes. But again, there are young men who are listening to us who do not appreciate the fact that those little expenses, that lifestyle of theirs, if checked properly, could help them own properties, not just a property, but properties. We've talked about people who, after close of work, would want to sit down and drink and chew meat and stuff like that. But you know, when you often sit and you drink, one other thing that comes along is that you'd want to have a woman.
Yes.
So you have a woman, or you have some women in your life, and then you take one to a hotel, pay for the hotel room. I peg it at 200 Ghana cedis. So when you go to the hotel room, you might also buy some drinks. Peg a bottle of whatever drink at, let's say, 15, 20 Ghana cedis.
Yes.
You might want to eat, or because the money is not enough, you will not eat, but the lady would want to eat. So you buy food for the lady. And then when you're done, she's done eating and you do whatever. When she's leaving, you have to give her TNT.
Yes.
So let's say at that very moment, you spend like 500 Ghana cedis. So I'm just doing some rough calculations here. So 200 Ghana cedis for the room, 100 cedis for the meal and the drinks. It could be more. And then you give her 200 cedis for TNT. TNT, not necessarily TNT, just a woman discount.
Yes.
So it could be more than 500 Ghana cedis. That is big money, isn't it?
You are not even done. Some of them buy condoms and at a very expensive. You see, now you are now narrating the lifestyle of a typical womanizer.
So if you do that, let's say
you are drawing the womanizing budget.
I like that, drawing the womanizing budget. So you do that like 3 times or 4 times a month. That is 2,000 Ghana cedis.
Yeah.
But because it's not money that you just picked at random, at a go to spend, you might not appreciate it. So at the spur of the moment, you did 500 one week, 500 another week, 500 another week, and it's like what? 2,000 Ghana cedis in a space. If we want to stop this lifestyle, how do you save this money? How do you invest this money so you can use it for something profitable and something better?
Yeah, so you check your disciplinary level. If you're not disciplined enough, then you may have to contact an investment company or your bankers to deduct a certain portion of your salary into some investment asset or something. So there are several banks. One of our people here the last time did some, and I thought, as young as he is, that was a wise decision. You know, and I really like people like that, because probably on your own, because of your work, because you're an employee, nothing would push you to do that. So you ask your bankers to do that for you. But if you think that you are disciplined enough to do it yourself, then you may have to have an account every month. Let's say you withdraw 400 Ghana cedis, you put into it. At the end of the year, you take everything, you buy, let's say, treasury bill, or you put it into a high yielding investment. If you do that for even 10 years, 20 years, you can have a plot and get a house up to the roof. You see, and I'm telling you that from my analysis this morning, I just did a very simple analysis this morning, and I realized that even if you are saving 400 Ghana cedis or 600 Ghana cedis a month, in the next 20 years, you would have.
But why should I wait for 20 years? 600 Ghana cedis for 20 years?
Yeah, so you want it in 2 years?
Or 5?
No, it's possible, but it depends on how you want to do it. Some will go into mortgage and other facilities to do that. Others would want to do everything 100% on their own. So it depends on how you want it. But why should you be in a rush to have a house in 5 years? Because we are talking about wasting money on food,
and drinks and other things. Yeah.
So you cannot tell me that simply because we asked you to wait for 10 years to have a house, you are angry and that you spend it on drinks or food. I like shawarma. I don't do pizza. I like shawarma. So, and you see, some of these people we spend on. There was time someone gave me a promise, and it's always been lingering in my mind. He told me that because I used to, go out with him, and he told me that I've been a very nice person. What he hopes to do in the future for me is that she will buy plenty shisha. When I come to his house, we will be doing shisha, plenty of them. So I realized that this guy, what is he talking about? So since that time, I began to advise myself, because the truth is that most, in quotes, very, very well-meaning and wise people hardly will sit down drinking by heart and eating anyhow.
Smoking shisha.
It's smoking shisha. For what reason? And sometimes they don't come alone, they come with their girlfriends. They are not paying, but they still manage to come with their girlfriends. You see? And so I think it's not worth it. And if we are disciplined enough to save these monies, we have our properties in the future. And 10 years, 20 years is fine, because if you are young and you are renting, it's normal. But just imagine that.
We're going to retirement.
Yes.
And there's no flow of regular income.
Yes.
And then your landlord would always, increase the rent when it's due.
And so
you can't put pressure on your children
to build for you. And if you do it well, by that time your children are even old. They are in their own houses, and you can give a portion of your own house out for rent. And so no matter how you look at it, it doesn't really make sense spending too much on fufu and pizza and the likes, when you can make do with some,
So if you're a young man and you're listening to us, are we making sense to you, or to you what we're saying is rubbish in your ears? You can send us your voice note to our WhatsApp number 05511119995. The argument is this: we believe that with careful planning, many people can own properties, houses, homes of their own. Now, we're not asking you to be corrupt. Like Leo said earlier on this morning, I said, Fufuo, like you did at Espresso, and eat. Like somebody said in the song we played, listen, also was in the penthouse 1 a.m. Is that what you're doing out there? Have you sat down at the end of the month to calculate how much you spent on the bottles you enjoy, how much you spent on the kebabs, how much you spent on the meat, how much you spent in that hotel room, how much you spent on that lady or ladies? Have you done that calculation? If you do that calculation, and you know how much you spent, or should I say wasted in a month, then you'd appreciate the conversation we're having. Because if you decide to forfeit all that lifestyle and focus on planning properly, you can own your own home. Now, how do you do that with all the little monies you have? Let's speak to Rose Echan-Pepra. She's the General Manager, Sales at DBS. Rose, good morning to you.
Good morning, David.
And trust you are well?
Yes, I'm well. How about you?
Oh, the Lord is my shepherd, as always. Good to have you on our show this morning. So we're planning, and preparing ourselves for the Republic Bank, Love FM, Habitat Fair for the year 2023. And we're asking people to cut down on their expenditure and then plan and save towards building their homes. When we come to, let's say, DBS, What do you have for us this year, 2023? What do you have for us by way of the building materials that you guys are dealing?
Right, David, thank you very much, and good morning to your cherished listeners. And then we also want to say thank you to our cherished customers as well. This year, DBS, we are coming massively. We have our concrete products. You know, DBS, you can have all the blocks. We have the 6 inches, the 5 inches, the hollow ones. The hollow, we have even 6 and 5. We have our pavement blocks as well. Then, after the blocks, we have the light gauge steel trusses. You know, now we are advising that people don't use the wood. We want to preserve the wood for foreign exchange for the country. So we have the steel trusses that is serving that purpose. We are coming with it. And then we have all the DBS roofing sheets from our Colorlink Plus to the DBS Rainbow. DBS, when you come to us, you have variety of roofing sheets. Irrespective of your income level, you will get a beautiful roofing sheet, high quality material to roof your building. This year, we are bringing all that on board. And the ready-mix concrete is now ready here in Kumasi. We started from Accra, but right now we have it in Kumasi as well. And we are bringing it on board. We are coming with a whooping and amazing deal. A whooping discount of 7% on roofing products and then 3% on concrete materials as well. That's what we are bringing on board this year.
And I'm sure I will be able to negotiate some more discounts for patrons, because 7% is good, but we can do better than 7%. And 3% on concrete products is also equally good. But so I would engage with you on that. But one thing we're trying to encourage people to do, especially the young ones, is for them to plan ahead, save money ahead, so they can acquire some of these things for their building projects. Question is, for somebody who's listening to us right now, and instead of the person going to buy some fufu with a krantier, instead of the person going to buy, pizza and all that, the person wants to put the money somewhere for safety and for the materials when they need a rise. Does DBS have a package, an account of a sort where people can put money in, so when the time is due, they come for their products, or even you can say you pay to a certain level, and then we say come and take the products and go use it for your building projects?
Yes, of course, David. We can do that for our clients. DBS, even one block, the 6 inches block, it's just 7 cedis, 9 pesos. It's almost 8 cedis. But as compared to the price of pizza, it means when somebody eats pizza a day, that person is kind of eating about 18 blocks in a day or at that moment. So that money can be used for this concrete product. So what we can have an account for this person can be saving this small amount on weekly basis. We will prefer monthly basis, so that even if you don't have an idea the kind of building you want to put up, saving towards 6 inches blocks, you can have about 3,000 as your focus, and then you will save towards achieving that 3,000 concrete blocks at that particular time. When you finish, then you can move on, because for DBS, when you come to us, we have almost everything from foundation to roofing. You can have almost everything. For those who have even acquired land, it's very good that they have to rush to us. We will help them to get to the site and start putting up something.
Charlie, Rose, thank you very much for joining us this morning. Rose Echamp, Price General Manager, DBS. And she says, listen, if you eat one pizza, for example, that's about 18 to 22 blocks, huh? Leo say, Leo make an answer. It is better that way for your future. So you'd rather buy the food now with all the meat on it, which of course could also endanger your health. And then later in life,
there are good food that is also healthy. Salad, and you're healthy. But it's still, I remember when said if you end 2000, you shouldn't eat bread. Sometimes you have to overlook these things. So
let's join us with your thoughts on this conversation. 03220-83596, 03220-83597, and 03220-83598. All we want you to do, all we are expecting of you, is to get your priorities right. Spend smartly and wisely, and have a property for yourself. Don't grow hit the age of 60 or 65 when you're on retirement, and then you'll be calling on your daughter. Why should you be doing that when you plan properly now? So call us on 03220-83596, 03220-83597, and 03220-83598. Where do you stand on our debate? Do you agree with people who are saying that when you have money, plan, and don't be spending on meals and on hotels? Or you think that, Charlie, for life, you need to enjoy life and not necessarily, concentrate on, spending on buildings? Leo, can we go on to the WhatsApp console?
Hello, David. Good morning. Paul here. Well, I'm 39 and I'm a taxi driver. I know I don't earn as much as your Eugene and the other guy earns working with multimedia. But I'm living in my own 2-bedroom house, uncompleted though, but I'm working towards completing it. And I know in a few years' time, I'll be able to complete it because I'm working towards that so that I'll be able to have that free space to take care of my children, who my first son will be in HHS by the next 2 or 3 years. So the only thing your guys in the studio there lacks is proper planning. And if they do, they'll be able to build. So, David, please, when I pay no one cry no more person be down to Tiamo.
But you know something, for the fact that you're a taxi driver and you have this brilliant idea and you've started building. I know of taxi drivers who go to joints. They say, the casa of no, the casa of one chair, and then we they use the car keys to point to the meet they want. Call me. I didn't get your name, sir, but call me. Where do baby so here more? I know people who sell building materials. Maybe you've gotten to the roofing stage, you need wiring, you need tiling, you need whatever. Now, me found wow.
It's a 2-bedroom house.
1-bedroom crown. I will help you to complete that building, sir. So give me a call after the conversation. Abdullah is on the lines. Hi, Abdullah. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, boss.
Abdullah, welcome, sir. Let's hear you.
Yes, the idea TBS is putting across is a very nice idea. But I wanted to ask, is it across board or is limited to some people?
It's across. Abdullah is across board.
Hello.
Abdullah, I'm saying it's across board. It's for everybody. Abdullah.
Okay, so how do we do that? Or we have to go to their branch.
So either you go to the DBS branches, you join us at the Republic Bank Love FM Habitat Fair, or you can get in touch with me and I'll link you up to Rose. All right, it's all your choice. But Abdullah, thanks very much for calling us.
You're welcome, sir. All right. Bye.
Nana Jesse, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Nana Jesse, ucho edum pa ho. Ana do sit down.
Okay.
Bisi ucho edum ana so do sit down.
Masa, me sit down, boy. Do you know one funny thing? I am a driver. As my fellow driver called, that's the first caller. And he's saying we taxi drivers, we don't earn much. But I want to tell him that is a lie. We earn much, but we don't save because we have this motive. Tomorrow when I go, I'll get. Can you imagine I took a spare from a friend and the friend didn't give me fuel for the car, but I managed to get fuel in the car, made my sales, and I had 200 cities in 2 days. So what is my brother saying, or what the hell he's talking about? Saying we taxi drivers don't earn much. We earn much.
I understand that you want to make your point, but don't use those. I mean, what the hell is blah blah blah? I mean, but your point is well noted, and I'm glad that you're also building. Congratulations to you, Kwame. Good morning.
Good morning, David.
Kwame.
Yes, David. Are we having this conversation because here in Ghana we have such a huge housing deficit? If Ghana were to be like Libya in Gaddafi's days, where people didn't have to struggle to get a place to live, David, where should we invest the most? In people or in houses? Where I live, there are people there who struggle to have even 2 meals a day. Sometimes you can't turn your back on them. No matter the little you have, you want to at least spend some on them. So sometimes I'm caught in between the two. To invest in material things or to invest in people. Grace, Rose, we just spoke. It's like a sister to me. On a monthly basis, she spends thousands on people who are not family. So yes, I agree. We have to be mindful of where to sleep, especially in our old age. We should also be mindful of people who are going through difficulties in our societies. I think there's too much competition these days. People want to build. Everybody wants to build. And I think it is not because people need houses. It's because as a country, we are having such a huge housing deficit that we need to find solutions to.
But I agree with you, Kwame. But again, the point is this. There are some people who have the means, with careful planning, to be able to own their own property. But unfortunately, they don't plan well. They abuse the resources they have, especially at their youthful stage. They hit the age of 55, then they say, let me get a land, let me start building. They go to retirement and they are not able to complete their building. Now their life becomes miserable. They either want to depend on their children, and their children sometimes might not necessarily be employed. They themselves are struggling. They put pressure on their daughters to speak to their partners, their husbands, to come and either pay rent for them or help them to build. Meanwhile, when you were young, you had the opportunity to do something, yet you did not do it. That is where my concern is. I agree with you and Eugene. And you'll be able to miss it. But we'll be able to miss it with careful planning. But in planning. Listen, there was an occasion, I know this broadcaster, he would buy a car with a loan. Porsche car, pow. Meanwhile, he lived in a single room at the time. So he will come out flexing with all the plush car. But I couldn't fear out a single room. I could rent a sika. I got loan that auto car. Car, no, I can't say you. But when there's a crash right now, that car is gone. And yet you have paying for the loan and you're living in a single room. Let's go back onto the WhatsApp console.
Hello, David. Good morning. Me pacho. Me pese me bisa. Say, yeah, your salary. And your fear be as 500 Ghana cedis. Sa 500 Ghana cedis nanzo. My 5 policies ama meba. Me a single parent. Enti my day na metimi asidan. Me that's it.
So she has about 500 Ghana cedis. She has about a number of policies for her kids, and she's a single parent. How does she build?
Okay, so she's got some policies running. Yeah. I don't know the kind of policy, whether education policy or life policy.
For the kids,
so education policy. Yeah. But again, she has something she does. And Charlie, we are not saying that get up and build it in a day. And when I was saying about the 20 years being too much, I said it because I wanted a response from Nunu here. But madam, I was yebi. Those are all monies that if put to good use. And there are some things you forgo for a greater good. That's what we're talking about. Luciani, please.
Okay, he says if you really want to build a house, it's a matter of planning, because a single room can be turned into hall and chamber, then into 2-bedroom as time goes on, then into 3-bedroom flat. So I think he's talking about being in a progressive manner.
So Mr. Nunu, you put something on your paper. You did some calculations.
Yeah, so I was looking at the fact that if, say, we peg pizza at 150 Ghana cedis, then and you decide to do twice a week, buy pizza twice a week.
That's 300.
Yeah. So for the month you would have 600 cedis for the month, and for the year is 7,200, and for 20 years would be if you want to do that twice a week, you would have 1,200 cedis per month, and 1 year would give you 144 at 100 4,400 for the year, and then 20 years would be 288,000. And so, and in most cases, you may invest that into an asset that would yield interest. So let's say if you peg the interest at 50%, that would be for the period of 20 years would be 43,200 cedis. And so the total will give you 331,200 cedis. I don't know if it's okay.
Yes, it is.
Yes. Now, 331,200 cedis should be able to get you a decent place to stay.
And that 300,000 and over is for how many years? 20 years, yeah?
Yes, it's for a period of 20 years, doing pizza twice a year.
Twice a week.
You see, the thing is that we are not asking people to build mansions, as it were. You build according to your level of income. So even if it's 2-bedroom, 1 room, whatever it is,
it gives you peace of mind.
And some people build it, they don't wall there. They don't have a wall.
You do it, with time. Now you're adding on. Let's take one more voice note and then we wrap up.
Hello, David. Please, it's education policy. Education policy. I did 5 education policies for my child.
And she says, I don't go to funerals.
She's a single parent.
She's a single parent. But listen, what I want people to do for me is this. Take time. Let's say you can start in the month of October, from the 1st of October to the end of October. Ask yourself how much you spent on alcohol, if you drink alcohol. How much you spent on the kebabs.
For the women, the clothes and the bags.
Do all that calculation. How much you even spent on the lady or the ladies, and even at a hotel.
But
and then you would appreciate what we're talking about.
One thing is, sometimes even doctors will tell you, say sometimes you have to unwind.
Nobody's saying you don't have to.
Yeah. So if every once in a while you want to do something that will make your soul, come back to life a little bit, what's wrong?
If it's once a month or once a quarter, it's better than to do it almost every week.
Almost every week is irresponsible, so I understand that.
Well, Fido's highest loan is now an impressive 4,000 Ghana cedis, and we say congratulations and thank you to them. So starting small is the key to big things. Begin with a loan of 200 Ghana cedis and pay on time, and you could see your loan limit grow to 4,000 Ghana cedis. So, like we always do, we're telling you, get money, spread the word. When you refer friends to Fido and they take a loan, you will earn 15 Ghana cedis because your friend took a loan. And when your friend pays back the loan, he or she gets 10 Ghana cedis when that loan is paid back. It's a winning combo. Getting the Fido app is very easy. All you need to do is to dial *998*9# to apply Fido on the App Store or Play Store. Apply today, shine your eyes. Remember to watch out for tricksters pretending to be Fido. Fido will never ask you to pay money before getting a Fido loan. Again, some great news out there. It's all about savings. And in today's Ghana, 3 Ghana cedis can no longer pay for chibum, and 45 Ghana cedis is not enough for a bag of cement. So thanks to Prudential Life Insurance Ghana's Mekakrawa, you can secure your future and that of your loved ones with as little as 3 Ghana cedis. Mekakrawa protects you and one dependent in the event of death, critical illness, and total permanent disability. Dial *778# on MTN today and join the Mekakrawa family and protect your future. Let's talk about bets because the Champions League commences today. And I used to call because Betway's cash out just got way better. Now, the enhanced early, partial, and auto cash out feature lets you cash your bets out early. Cash out a portion of your ongoing bets or even set your bets to cash out automatically. All this to give you way more control over every thrilling bet you place. Sign up today at betway.com.gh. Terms and conditions apply. Regulated by the Ghana Gaming Commission. It's not for persons below the age of 18. Betway, listen, get way more. Now, Vivo Energy Ghana, the marketers and distributors of Shell branded fuels and lubricants in partnership with the National Road Safety Authority and its transporters, JK Hoggle Transport, SO Frimpong Transport, and JK Ahiadome Transport, is launching this year's Stop, Think and Drive Road Safety campaign today at the New Plant Station Circle at 9 a.m. Now, the Stop, Think and Drive Road Safety campaign is an annual event organized by Vivo Energy Ghana to provide refresher defensive driving training for commercial drivers and motorcyclists across the country to build their capacity with the ultimate objective to improve road user behavior and reduce the risks of involvement in road accidents. At Vivo Energy Ghana, we believe that road safety is a shared responsibility. Let us stop, let us think, let us drive safely. All right, so before we cross over to Joy 99.7, we've got some more messages for you. And I want you to say this to yourself, that listen, you ought to earn some good money to spend on your favorite things. So ready to treat your callers to good tunes while you win incredible rewards and points by purchasing, renewing, copying or gifting your favorite caller tunes, and you can win amazing prizes based on your total accumulated points. So build as many points as possible and you can win tons of data to stay connected to the things you love, or you can win an amazing 10,000 Ghana cedis cash prize to splash on your favorite things. It's the perfect way to entertain your callers with music and get rewarded at the same time. Start collecting your caller tunes points today. Visit Caller Tunes, that is spelled callertunes.mtn.com.gh, or you can also just dial star 1355 hash to get started on the MTN Caller Tune services. Promo lasts till the 7th of October 2023, but don't forget that terms and conditions apply. Have that at the back of your mind. Have you got yourself a generator? Is it faulty? Well, Anointed Electrical Engineering Services Limited is into the sale of ultra-silent generators from 5 kVA to 2,500 kVA, and they also undertake maintenance and repairs of all kinds of diesel engine generators. They also stock genuine spare parts of all kinds for various generators and also do generator rentals. You can find them here in Kumasi at T80 Yard off the Mayanka Road at Asokwa. In Accra, their head office is at number 77 Anointed House of the Odoko Malam Road. Call them on 0243 480 334 or 0544 340 589. Well, let's talk about storing water. Are you living in a new side? You use the gallons to fetch water. It's not hygienic. What is your preferred color of tank? Well, Syntex has it. What guarantee do you want? Again, Syntex has it. What kind of inner layer do you want? Double, triple, quadruple? Well, as many inner layers as you want, Syntex has it too. So remember, no matter your water needs, Syntex has it. Syntex tank, a strong, a tough. They have over 300 agents nationwide, so you don't have any excuse not getting for yourself a Syntex tank. To order a tank, you can call 0244 335 168, and you can visit Syntex on social media at Syntex Ghana, or you can shop online on www.syntexgh.com. Syntex tank, a strong, a tough. Now, let's talk about how to quench our thirst. Wake up to a new taste of Bigo Cola. Nothing comes close to Bigo Cola, a drink of joy, both cold and sweet. Bigo Drink is a range of soft drinks developed, bottled, and distributed in Ghana by Trillium Industrial Ghana. Now, Bigo Cola drink offers a great taste and superior value to consumers. Now, for your parties, weddings, funerals, and all occasions, reach out for Bigo drinks. For the school children, I bet you that is a drink of choice. So anytime you want to drink, you want a drink to quench your thirst, reach out for Bigo Cola and feel the taste of nature. For bulk purchase, please call 03221 90877. It's a quality product from Trillium Industries Limited. All right, so at this point in time, we'll be going for a commercial break, and when we return, we'll be crossing over to Joy 99.7 and analyze the address, by Kwame Sapon-Sedu of CDD, what he said during a public lecture yesterday.
The other day, as I was in my kitchen preparing my special jollof made with lily rice for my family, I heard a knock at the door. It was my mechanic. Instead of calling me to pick my car, he brought it himself. I said, "Cho," he said, "F-O." I said, "Take the car back. I will come and pick it myself." As I turned off the fire from under the lily jollof, there was another knock at the door. It was my neighbor. I said, neighbor. He said, "F-O, my dog has jammed your wall again, oh." I said, "Don't be silly. You don't have a dog." My wife Ekis came home and we saw that he enjoyed. Cho, it was my pastor. He said, "Bless you." I said, "Bless you too." He said, "Did he come to church on Saturday?" I said, "Acho, but why are you coming to tell me this on Wednesday?"
Having to fend off visitors at mealtimes because of Lele's tasty aromatic rice? Celebrate every mealtime by sharing with friends and family near or far.
Lele, tasty food, happy family. This advert is FDA approved. Wow! Coffee, Pusilian fair. Would you amount them have bright? Unyanway.
A interface plasterboard ceiling, and I'm dear bomb demua, a tijasano, and to ready a dance for, and a more ceiling what you mean. Interface plasterboard ceiling, and I'm on farm demo, a bomb demo, I have first one cocra. So the interface plasterboard ceiling, a board demo, and my demo yafe, and a sound switch. A interface limited, and a diaba, Bomadia. Now from 0274 999999, and our website www.interfacelimited.com.
Aji mensa ye titiri na ayami yaka ho. Doctor say me BP ni me sugar nyina kwosoro.
De wuhia ne Amuzu garlic bitters.
Amuzu garlic bitters.
Ane Amuzu garlic bitters. Ewo herbal shop bia.
Wahese wako shop akodi dwa hodo basket ma emu provisions ene nyoma hodo ehia opa we delay musa edru so na ukotua nso a yaka kire wo se untimi nchante e me chance na ma na so ya keke na mom o de Vodafone cash dia uni how cry yaka ko be bia say dia untimi de Vodafone cash
and business advisory expert. Here he is.
And he has to pay some penalty. It is the business that brings the revenue. So we will do everything possible to get back to the business, to nurture that business, to ensure that business come back on track and begin to contribute to revenue. So you can't have a policy only focusing on getting revenue. You might have a policy that focuses on getting revenue and nurturing the entities that provide the revenue. And that is what is the difficulty we are facing now.
I'll get back to you because there are a lot to talk about, all the strategies that we're putting in place. Because in thriving is not all about, businesses and individuals. The policymakers also have a major role to play because whatever they put in place affects all of us. Let me get to Professor Jekedako, whose PhD was from Nottingham University. Let me just do that correction. And I ask you the same question. So, over the last 12 months, we've been having this conversation back and forth. So far, we've put in place a lot of policies here and there. But if you look at the country today, what state are we in? And based on the policies that we've put in place, what are your expectations going forward?
Okay. I think that we have tried to put in certain policies that would help revive our economy. But I also think that we need to do more. We have done the DDEP, and we had some resentments from those who were going to be affected, but we managed to go through. We've got the approval from IMF, and of course, that brings in some credibility into the economy, and we have seen some of the benefits of the credibility in our exchange rates. We've seen that it's stabilized a bit. But I think that we need to do more. And the reason I say so is because we are attempting to bring our deficits down. And we are looking at revenue and then expenditure. We have put so much emphasis on revenue, but I don't think we are doing enough on the expenditure side to be able to get us back to where we expect to be. As Prof. Gachi just said, if you put too much pressure on those who are giving the revenue, then in the end you are not going to be realizing the kind of revenue that you want to realize. And we've seen AGI complain several times about the number of taxes that have been imposed on them. Us as individuals as well, not just businesses, we've seen the taxes. And it's unfortunate that our economy is predominantly informal. And so when taxes are imposed, we see the same people paying the taxes over and over again. And that puts a huge burden on those people who are paying the taxes. Now, in terms of expenditure, I think that government has announced some cuts in its expenditure. But I still don't think that those cuts are enough. There are things that we could still look at and cut down. There's nothing like saying that, this doesn't cost so much. Even in our personal lives, if we see ourselves struggling, the little things that you cut down would come together and be huge for you. So I think that we need to look again at the items that government is spending on and see whether there are more things that we could do to bring the deficit down.
Talking about we need to cut down further, because I know we've, when during the presentation of the media review, we cut down expenditure by some 20 billion Ghana cedis. Is that not enough? What other things must we do? What other, cuts in expenditure are you expecting?
Well, I think that there's some flagship programs that are useful, and if we're doing well, it would be okay for us to go with those flagship programs. But we are not doing so well. We need to focus on the very important things now. Like I'm saying, I'm not saying that those flagship programs are not important, but I think that we need to focus on reviving our economy, and that helps us to generate the kind of revenue that we want to generate, and we bounce back to the economy. We know about, I think we've said a lot about the VSHS program. We have to find a sustainable way of dealing with it. The current way is not sustainable. We have to also be thinking about our elections. We've spoken about constitutional review. Don't get me wrong, democracy is also very important, but it comes at a cost. Every 2 years or so, we tend to have some elections, and those elections do impose costs on the ordinary person. Are we going to be able to review? I think you are the one who asked whether we're still practicing the gadgets-based economy.
Yes.
If we look at ourselves, are we still in a position to be carrying out elections every 2 years? Those come at a cost. Can we put everything together, district assembly elections and the main presidential parliamentary elections being put together for us to be able to reduce the cost that we want to be able to reduce? Can we make sure we are also enforcing on the long-term strategy that, we have NDPC at play? Is NDPC very well resourced to be able to enforce the long-term strategy that we have so that the politicians don't drive our economy with their manifesto? We go by the plan that we have for the economy. In that way, people or politicians don't abandon projects that have been started, because we've all come together to set a strategy for ourselves in the economy, and we are going by that kind of strategy. These are the many ways that we can practice to bring expenditure down.
Great, thank you very much. And so listening to you and, Professor John